earlier this year, we got one of, I guess, the biggest surprise drops, if you weren't really in the know, with the Bethesda remaster of Oblivion. I think it's Elder Scrolls 4, I don't even know. But Oblivion came out as a remaster earlier this year, and it took a lot of people, including myself, by storm. A lot of us had never played Oblivion, and we finally got to experience the game that was so beloved. With that, questions started to arise about other projects such as Fallout or even other Elder Scrolls games that would get this treatment that Oblivion got. And one game that always gets talked about whenever thinking about Bethesda and the future is Skyrim. The Elder Scroll V Skyrim released back in 2011. So this November, it's going to be 14 years ago that this game came out, which for a lot of us is absolutely mind-boggling. Skyrim released to critical and commercial success. It was one of the most beloved games of its era, and even today is one of the best single-player selling games we've ever gotten. To top it off even further, it is still being played by thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people every single year. Except for me. I never really played Skyrim that much. I remember being absolutely enamored by the game, but back in 2011, I was, what's 23 minus 14? I was 9. I was 9 years old. So I was playing Pokemon. I was playing on my Nintendo Wii. I remember eventually getting it, I think near the tail end of the Xbox 360's lifespan, and then trying to play it a little bit on the Xbox One. And I definitely watched a lot of other people play the game. I knew what the game was. I knew what it was about. But just for me and how I grew up playing multiplayer games. Call of Duty, Halo, Battlefield. Again, all of the older Nintendo games. I grew up on that side of it. I never grew up with Bethesda and really bigger RPGs. So with Oblivion coming out this year, I finally finished my full playthrough of it, or at least my first playthrough of the game to the point that where I want to stop. I decided that it's about time that I go back and play the game that got so many people hooked into not only RPGs, but to Bethesda. Now, I just want to say here really quick, this video is entirely my opinion, so if you don't agree with my opinion, that's totally fine. Leave yours in the comment section. I always encourage it in these videos. Just because if I say something about liking Skyrim more than another Bethesda game, it doesn't make Skyrim the better game, because we all love games for different reasons. To kind of jump off that point, I also want to highlight my innate bias that I have for Skyrim. This video is not a review of either game. It's not a comparison video, because those have been done to death. This video is mainly just me gushing about the 8 hours I have in Skyrim so far and how I'm absolutely loving the game. For me, growing up, the fantasy element was everything. I was kind of that kid that was really into fantasy, really into anime before it was cool to be into those things, right? Before the Olympic shift of everybody loving anime and everybody loving fantasy elements. Like, I got teased for liking things like Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings and Star Wars. Like, that was what I liked as a kid, and I had VHS tapes of all of those because that's just what I had. I remember reading The Lord of the Rings 2 for the first time and being just absolutely in love with the fantasy elements, with the elves and the dragons and all of that. And I bring that up because obviously Skyrim took a lot of inspiration from those. Game of Thrones is another big one that they've even talked about before. But Skyrim really goes far and beyond that. Skyrim as a game is just absolutely insane to think about. I mean, think of 2011, right? Think of games. Obviously, we got really good games before then, and even the next year, some of people's favorite Bethesda game and Dishonored came out. Like, we got so many good games around this time, but just the vast size and just the epicness of Skyrim is just a sight to behold. I remember watching the live action trailer for Skyrim and being like just shocked. Like, it's one of those trailers that you watch it and it's just so well put together, and then you get the gameplay trailer right before the game comes out. It's very geared towards this cinematic experience, which I think really helped the game hit audiences that weren't really big Bethesda or RPG fans. I mean, personally for me, I honestly thought the Elder Scrolls series was named Skyrim for the longest time. Like, literally probably until about 8 years ago, I thought Skyrim was the name of the series, and I was waiting for the next Skyrim Skyrim game. I didn't know that the Elder Scrolls was its own thing. And then I learned that and I was like, oh my God, Skyrim just was really that popular. And I know I'm not the only one because I've seen people talk about it. What I've also seen people just gush about this game, and what I can finally gush about too, is just the insane amount of world building and just the overall capacity of fun available in this game. Skyrim is constantly getting new people playing the game because there is so much to do, and that's without even talking about the modding side of it. Skyrim, like Minecraft, has an insane modding community. I would say it's probably only second to Minecraft. Fans are constantly expanding things, they're adding things to the game. Bethesda fully supports people modding the game, at least I think. And it's crazy because obviously recently we got Starfield. Just by playing that game and coming back and playing Skyrim, it's night and day, the difference. Skyrim feels like this huge map that you can just explore at whim, while one of the things I really didn't like about Starfield was it felt like everywhere was a loading screen. Obviously, this is not a video to bash on Starfield or Oblivion or anything else Bethesda has made, but I feel like it's hard to do Skyrim justice without bringing up these other games. Now, it's not all sunshines and rainbows, right? There's actually a good little chunk, especially from coming from the Oblivion remaster to this game, that just kind of bugs me. I feel like the controls, obviously, in the Oblivion remaster are so good that when you come back to this older game, there are things you have to remap, and that's really not the game's fault. But what is the game's fault is I do not like the combat really in this game. Obviously, I'm 8 hours in, so maybe at hour 20, I absolutely love the combat. I do like kind of the dual wield ability of the sword and the magic at any point. I do like that, but I feel like it's just super floaty, and I feel like my attacks aren't registering, but then they do. And I'm not a fan of that in any game, but I mean, hell, this game is 14 years old. So I will say also, so far, I think I'm more of a fan of side quests in Oblivion than I am in this game. And just the overall story of Oblivion, I think, is written a little better. But that's not to say that Skyrim's writing is bad in any way, shape, or form. I think the beauty behind these earlier Bethesda games is anybody can have a favorite. I think that's why collectively Bethesda fans were so turned off by Starfield versus the not so hardcore Bethesda fans. People that have been with the Elder Scrolls and all of their other franchises for a very long time saw the direction that Starfield was going. Same with, I think, was it Fallout 76 is the newest one at launch. I think a lot of people like that. What the fuck is leaking in my house? I think a lot of people actually like Fallout 76 now, but I know at launch it was kind of a mess. Or was it Fallout 4? Whichever Fallout game was a mess at launch. I don't know. Must there not even be a Fallout 76? And I'm just making that shit up. I actually wouldn't be surprised. In general, a lot of older fans of Bethesda were upset by what Bethesda has made more recently. And this Oblivion remaster has really taken people back. Obviously, they didn't really make a lot of new things for the Oblivion remaster because it's Oblivion and it's remade and all of the original game is still there, but it's a little bit more hope. And there's been a lot of hope for kind of like a very similar Skyrim remaster, even though Skyrim has been re-released and re-released on every single living, breathing console. But that's the thing, is Skyrim feels at home on every platform. Its Switch port is actually really good. It feels amazing on PC. I played it on PS5, even though when I was a kid and I tried it a little bit, I played it on Xbox and it still feels the same. And I don't think that's a bad thing in any way, shape, or form. I think that's really good. And at the end of the day, this was Bethesda's big home run. This got Bethesda so many new fans. It continues to get them new fans. Even if you don't like their newer stuff, you're still able to play this game and the Oblivion remaster and feel that older Bethesda magic. I don't know, it feels like Skyrim is a gamer's game. You can do pretty much everything in Skyrim. You can have any mods. There's Star Wars mods. I know there's Teletubby mods and Pokemon mods. I've seen it all, man. You can really do everything in this game. But really, Skyrim is a game that you can play through again and again. And I mean, I've seen people on Reddit while doing a little bit of research for this video, as much as I normally do, and just talk about how they're 70, 80, 90 hours into their third or fourth playthrough and they're still finding things that they didn't know of. And honestly, Skyrim deserves its spot in like the gaming Hall of Fame, because even though it's not perfect, I know I don't like a good amount of things in Skyrim, but I still find myself just absolutely, I don't know, obsessed, just so shocked by the just absolute immense beauty of its longevity. And that to me alone shows just how good this game is. The fact that we're 14 years in, and as a single player game, I think it's still hitting like over 15,000 people on Steam alone. That's not counting Game Pass or the PlayStation service or anything like Switch or sales or anything. But what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you've never played Skyrim, hopefully this video kind of convinces you to do that. I'm very much a bigger Skyrim fan now. I'll probably do some live streams at some point playing through this game. And honestly, playing this game is making me more excited for Elder Scrolls 6, even though I feel like after Starfield, I shouldn't be at all. But because of Skyrim and because of the Oblivion remaster, I'm actually really now excited for it. Thank you guys so much for watching and for just all of the support recently. It's been crazy. I know I just uploaded like a 2-year little anniversary thing for the channel. I appreciate the support for that as well. You guys rock, and I'm gonna go play some more Skyrim and some Death Stranding, because I got to do that before Death Stranding 2 comes out. Okay, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.